Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and here we go again, another legendary creature from the main set of Outlaws of Thunder Junction that I'm trying to turn into a commander deck. And today, it's Riku of Many Paths, green, blue and red for a 3/3 human wizard. And it's one of the more interesting abilities I think we've seen for a while on any legendary creature. Whenever you cast a modal spell, choose up to X, where X is the number of times you chose a mode for that spell. You can exile the top card of your library and play it until the end of your next turn. You can put a +1/+1 on Riku and it gains trample to the end of turn, or you can have a birdie, a 1/1 bird in the air. Yeah, modal spells, interesting things. And although I expect I'm talking to all the people who already know what they are, if you don't, there's a little definition down below me now. Modal spells in the context of MTG, modal spells are spells that give casters a choice of 2 or more effects when they're cast or put on the stack. These spells allow the player to select from different modes for each offering a distinct effect. For example, a modal spell might allow you to choose between dealing damage to a creature or gaining life when you cast it. So basically it's anything that says choose 1, choose 2, choose 1 or more. Any of those spells are modal spells, and I'm guessing everyone already knew that if you're watching this video, but in case you're new to Magic, that's what they do. So this deck is really built all around this idea. Where we can do the modal spell thing. So there's going to be a lot of instances of sorceries, and then there's probably going to be the usual selection of creatures you're expecting. But if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. Come and give me a follow over here. Still trying to get to my 500 by the end of the year. 379 as I sit here at the moment on YouTube, so any help would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to see me play this deck at some stage, there's a link below to my Twitch stream as well. I usually stream on a Thursday night GMT from about 7:30 onwards, and then on a Sunday afternoon from about 12:30 GMT onwards. So yeah, if you want to come and see me play some of these decks, come and check me out there, give me a follow, you'll know when I go live then. So anyway, the deck today is this. So start at the beginning. We have a few creatures, a little bit of help, and a few things that you're probably not expecting to see in a deck like this. So Birds of Paradise helps us with our mana ramp, and then our first main creature is Battlemore Battle-Mage Captain. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, all the creatures we control get +1/+0 and gain trample, so helps us push through the damage. Boral's here to reduce the costs of the instants and sorceries. Electrostatic Field lets us deal damage to everybody when we cast an instant or sorcery. Goblin Archomancer and Goblin Electromancer reduce the cost of most things. Bear in mind that the Archomancer only does red and green spells, so that will do that. But yeah, Goblin Electromancer reduces the cost of all of our instants and sorceries. So yeah, it's all good. Harmonic Prodigy is here because it will double trigger any shaman or wizard every time we cast something, so could be useful. So we'll go from that. Paradise Druid is just here to give us a little bit more of untappable, tappable mana ramp that's hexproofed at some stage. Prismari Pledge Mage I just like because whenever you cast an instant sorcery, can attack, so it didn't have Defender. So it's a 2 mana 3/3 that's going to be available to attack most of the turn. Third Path Iconoclast just gives us a soldier whenever we cast a non-creature spell. Young Pyromancer gives us an elemental when we cast an instant or sorcery. Baral and Kari Zev are also here. Whenever we cast our first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with less of mana value from your hand without paying its mana cost. If we don't, we do get the choice. We get to put the first mace into play as well, so it makes life even more fun. Going from there, Archmaid Emeritus. Whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we may draw a card, including the copies of it. Murmuring Mystic gives us some more birdies that fly, which is quite nice. We want the flyers. And then we've got the Ogres in. Ogre Axonel is in because, whenever red sorcery you control will damage non-combat damage. If it's less than 4, it deals 4, and then it flips into a land if we need it to when it dies. The blue Ogre Patik, lets all our instants and sorceries get, all our instants, get rebound, and when it dies we get to transform it, so that's cool. Rashmi Eternity's Crafter, we will be casting spells. We reveal the top card of our library. If it's a non-land card with converted mana cost less than the spell's mana cost, you cast without paying its mana cost, and if you don't, put it in your hand. So yeah, extra card draw every turn is always fun. Talwyn gives us 2/2 drakes instead of 1/1 birds. Safi Thunder Conductor. Yeah, Instance of sorceries are going to let us scry one. And then when we get to do the 5 mana or more ones, we get to have a 4/4 red and blue elemental token. I don't think we've got anything that's going to go 10 or more, but if you want to change the deck around and put something in that does that, you get to do 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random. So, yeah, it's good, but I don't think we're going to get that far. The first two will make it worthwhile having Safi in here, though. Decker, Fractal Theorist, is also here. Gets whenever we cast an instant or sorcery or copy one, we get to put a fractal into play that's a 0/0 creature with that many +1/+1 counters on it equal to the mana value of the spell cast. And then target creature token can't be blocked this turn for 4 mana. So you can get through some of your tokens to do it if you need to. Melik, the Reforged Researcher, has power and toughness equal to twice the number of instant sorcery cards in our graveyards. And the first instant sorcery spell we cast each turn costs us 3 less to do, which definitely has its upsides. The Green Ogre, Kaslim, is also here as well, because I do want to hit people in the head with it and get extra creatures into play for free, or lands for that matter. The original Riku, I've put it in just for the sake of having it in here, to be honest. We can pay the extra mana when we get that far if we want to get copies of things, so it's all good. Seaborn Muse helps us get there because it does untap all our permanents during each other player's untap step, so yeah, cope with that. Melik, is it a Paragon? Lets us cast stuff off the top of our library if it's an instant sorcery, and we get to copy it if we cast it from our sorceries, from our library, sorry, so really nice in this deck. And Jadzia, Oracle of Arcavos, I think it is. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, reveal the top card of your library. If it's non-land card, you may cast it by paying 1 generic mana rather than its mana cost. If it's a land, you get to put it on the battlefield. The other half of this, just make everything a little bit big so you can see it, is the Journey to the Oracle. You may put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield. Then if you control 8 or more land cards, you may discard a card. If you do, return this to your hand. So you've got ways of getting this back if you need to, if things go a bit pear-shaped. Going from there, we're into the spells, and there are 30 of them in the deck. So I will go through some of the more interesting ones as we go along. So just move this back over a little bit. There we go. Right, Bushwhack. Search your land for a basic and put it into your hand, or target creature you control fights something else. Dream's Grip, you can choose to tap or untap a target permanent for 1 blue mana, or you can entwine it, which is fine. You can still do that. Abrade, 3 damage to a creature or blow up an artifact. Carthetic Pyre, 3 damage to a creature or a planeswalker, then discard up to 2, then draw that many. Choice is yours. Evolution Charm, back in the day, this was a great card. Search your land for a basic land card, put it in your hand, return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, or target creature you control gets flying, or target creature gains flying until the end of turn. So, you know, you can help your opponents out with this, but the chances are you're going to give one of your creatures flying to get through for that extra damage. Hull Breach, you can blow up an artifact, an enchantment, or do both. The choice is yours. Is it Charm? Counter a non-creature spell, deal 2 damage to something, draw 2, discard 2. Nature's Law isn't modal, I'm aware of that, but we do need to find some forests. Same with 3 Fizzlets, we need to get our land into play, so they're both here. Over the Edge, it gives us the choice of destroying an artifact or enchantment, or doing a bit of exploring on one of our creatures. Simic Charm gives +3/+3 to a creature, or gives all of our permanents hexproof, which is the main reason this card is in the deck. It's going to be really useful. Or you can return a creature if you need to at push. Verdant Command, you choose 2, probably get a couple of tapped squirrels, and then you're probably either going to do gain the life or exile a card from the graveyard. Probably countering the target loyalty ability of a planeswalker may come up occasionally, but not that often, so it's probably going to be the squirrels and the life gain most of the time. Electrolyze is probably the most famous mode card you've got. That comes in, but it's not modal because you don't get to choose. I'll be aware of that. But you can do the damage and do the card draw. So, and I had to include it. It's, you know, it's classic. It's red-blue. You've got to have it in the deck. Flame of Anwar, however, is modal from Lord of the Rings. If you control a wizard, you may cast this spell. You may choose 2 instead. So as long as you cast this when Riku's in play, you get to pick 2 of them. Draw 2 cards. Destroy an artifact. 5 damage to a creature. Thank you very much. Jessica's Will is also here. One of the command spells, I suppose. Yeah, if you choose one, and then if you control a command of you cast this spell, you can choose both. So yeah, the options there, still classed as modal. Primal command, again, choose 2, modal, 2 damage, draw 2, discard 2, get a treasure trove and destroy an artifact. Quandrix command, bounce something, counter a target artifact or enchantment spell, put 2+1/+1/+1 counters on a target creature, or shuffle 3 cards from your graveyard into your library, which is probably what you will do most of the time with it. Return to the wilds, get a basic land, get a human or a food if you're really desperate. Tamir Charm, again, going back to classic land because I like this one. Target creature you control gets +1/+1, then it fights something. You can counter target spell unless someone pays 3, or creatures with power of 3 or less can't block this turn. Be aware that you can cast this first, make all your 1/1s unblockable, then if you're going to pump them, you can still pump them up and they're still unblockable. Right, Cryptic command. I'm not even going to mention this one, you all know what it does, I'm hoping. Fiery Confluence is the whole little bit of board wipe control we've got. Kamal's Will lets us turn all our lands into creatures that are 1/1 elementals with vigilance, indestructible, and haste. They're still lands until the end of turn, I believe it is. And then choose a target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals damage equal to its power to that creature. So all your lands become 1/1s are indestructible, and then you get to basically ping someone to death, well, one of the other creatures to the graveyard with it. Make sure you play this when Riku's out, makes it a lot better. Urza's command just mean is here as well. Power Stones are pretty useless, but the colourless construct and the scry one, then draw a card, is probably very useful. Burn Down the House is just our wonderful version of a modal board wipe, so 5 damage or 3 devils. Cosium Confluence comes through as well in this one. Search the library for a cave card, which I've just realised I haven't put in the deck, but destroying 3 enchantments could be good. You may want to put some caves in your deck. I'm not playing in here. I did this as a 4 mana destroying target enchantment type thing, purely because a lot of the decks I've been playing recently have had enchantments in them, so you can change the mana base on this and put some caves in. My bad for not doing it in the first place. So drop a forest of plains and an island, a forest and island and a mountain, and put a couple of caves in instead. It's fine. Primal Command, another one from Lorwyn coming back. Shuffle everything back in game 7 as the usual outcome of this. Return of the Wild Speaker lets you draw the cards where you've got the most powerful non-human you've got is more likely to be. Titania's Command, exile target player's graveyard. You gain 1 life for each card exiled this way. Deals with people's graveyards. Get a couple of land cards, put them onto battlefield tapped. Get some bears or put some +1/+1 counters around. This is very much going to be dependent on what's happening on your board at that time. Verdant Confluence is also here. Again, same idea. Choose 3. You may choose the same mode more than once. Basic land, and then return a permanent, I'm guessing. Tooth and Nail. Go and get 2 of the creatures we want to have in a play. The ones that I would recommend always going with Tooth and Nail are Seedborn Muse and Oja Kaslam, just so we're clear. But if you already played them and they're already in play, go and pick something you think is going to help you out. From there, going into the artifact side of the ramp, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Farewell Stone, and then all the talismans of whatever. Creativity, Curiosity, and Impulse. So we have enough mana ramp that's all, well, apart from these 2, all coloured ramp. But yeah, we need these to cast some of the big spells. And then that's it. There's no enchantments in the deck. It is purely creatures and spells and a few artifacts to back everything up. The reason I'm playing 35 lands, well, the lands you want to expect is because the Ojas are here. These do turn into lands once we get them into play. We do have enough ways of going and finding random lands in the deck if we need to do that side of things. And yeah, I think it should work quite well, to be honest. I'm actually quite looking forward to playing Riku of the Many Paths on stream at some stage. So that's it for today's deck tech. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you think there's anything I've missed out, and yes, before anyone says anything, I know I haven't included any of the new modal spells in here. There are a lot coming in Outlaws of Thunder Junction. I'm very aware of it, but I want to see which ones play out well before I start including. So I've picked what I call the classic ones at the moment. This deck will be upgraded as I get a handle on the modal spells, but at the moment I've just gone with the ones that are currently available to make it a little bit easier. So I think a lot of the new ones are going to be quite pricey to start with. But anyway, just that aside, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back very soon with another video. Take care. See you later. Bye.